We here at the Sports History Network proudly partner with 26 podcasts, all revolving around the history of sports. But did you know that many of our hosts were sports history authors way before they started their shows? It's true. We've got Joe Ziemba, host of When Football Was Football, Joe Zagurski, host of Pro Football in the 1970s, Mark Morthier, host of Yesterday's Sports, Tommy Phillips, host of Lombardi Memories, and Scott Adamson, co-host of From the 55-Yard Line. All these authors have many books for you to choose from. To check them out, go to our website at sportshistorynetwork.com/sportshistorybooks. Pick up your copy today. Soundtrack provided by Kevin MacLeod of filmmusic.io.
Now it's time to take a sports break, a look at sports history on a daily basis. Hello, my friends in sports history. This is Darren Hayes of the Sports Jersey Dispatch. Welcome once again to the Pigpen, your place for all things great sports history and team sports. And we're going to look at some great sporting events that happened on the day of June 23rd and preserve just a small sampling of some of the great athletes based on the uniform numbers that they wore, if they did wear them in that era. We're going to talk about a few where uniform numbers were not present and required in the leagues that they played in. But our jersey number today that we're going to talk about is jersey number 4. Now, June 23rd, 1915, the New York Yankees were gifted an MLB record. The Philadelphia Athletics pitching staff surrendered an MLB record 16 walks to go along with 3 wild pitches in just one game against the rivals from the Bronx. Oh yeah, and did I mention the 3 errors by the Athletics in the field that day? Well, the Yanks defeated the A's 15-7 with pitcher Bruno Haas on the mound for Philadelphia for the duration of the game. Now, June 23rd, 1917, it was a near beginning of a game, and Boston Red Sox pitcher Babe Ruth was ejected for throwing a punch at an umpire. Yes, according to a story on the ProSportsOutlook.com, the great Bambino was a bit ornery on this day. The Babe, if you remember, early in his MLB career, was quite a fine pitcher for the Boston Red Sox franchise. And on a day when the Red Sox were hosting the Washington Senators, his temper got the best of him. Batting leadoff for the Senators was second baseman Ray Morgan. He took 4 pitches from Babe, and each were called ball by the umpire, Clarence Brick Owens. The young arm on the mound was getting more and more riled up with each non-strike called, and after a few slew of insults, Owens threatened to boot the Babe from the game. This really infuriated Ruth, who soon yelled back, "Throw me out, and I'll punch you right in the jaw." Well, both men kept their word. Owens tossed Ruth, and Ruth apparently charged at Owens and fed him a knuckle sandwich in the mouth. Now, after this ejection, Boston sent Ernie Shore in to continue pitching the game, covering well for Ruth and probably giving the legend much satisfaction as Shore retired all 26 batters he faced to provide the Sox with a 4-0 victory over the Washington Senators. The pitching performance of the Ruth-Shore combo was tabbed as a combined no-hitter in the record books. June 23rd, 1927, New York Yankees future Baseball Hall of Fame baseman Lou Gehrig would soon wear number 4 for the Pinstripes. He hit 3 home runs in a game on this day in a Yankees 11-4 victory over the rival Boston Red Sox at Fenway Park. June 23rd, 1963, New York Mets hitter Jim Piersall, wearing number 34, hits his 100th home run of his career. In celebration, he ran the bases backwards, third through home. I'm not quite sure if that's illegal, but I think they counted it because it's a picture of it in the newspaper clipping we have from newspapers.com on the jerseydispatch.com article for this June 23rd. It's from the June 24th, 1963 Press and Sun Bulletin from Binghamton, New York newspapers. It looks like it's a UPI telephone photograph, and shows old number 34 running from home to third. So I think they counted it, and it must be legal. It might not be illegal after he did that. I'm sure they put a ruling against that, so because I haven't heard of anybody doing that since. So maybe you know the answers. Maybe you can give us a feedback. Pigskindispatch@gmail.com. Give your answers, and we will put them on the air. And we appreciate you listening. Appreciate you enjoying this little bit of history and taking this sports break. And tune in tomorrow, where we'll have some more. Until then, have a great sports history day. Sorry, but my pitching coach just called timeout and he's coming out to the mound. I think I'm going to get yanked for a reliever. We'll see you back tomorrow for some more great sports history on Sports Jersey Dispatch Podcast. We invite you to check out our websites, jerseydispatch.com and pigskindispatch.com. Not only see the daily sports history, but to experience the preservation of great events and people that play the games. Find us on Pigskin Dispatch. It's also on social media outlets of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and don't forget the Pigskin Dispatch YouTube channel. Get all your daily sports history. Pigskin Dispatch is happy to be associated with the Sports History Network, the sports headquarters of yesteryear, found at sportshistorynetwork.com.
This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com.
It was just another ordinary day in the offices of the Pittsburgh Guardian newspaper circa 1924. But for Marla Delft, assistant editor, everything was about to change. For she was about to discover the awesome attractiveness of Row 1 brand retro sports paraphernalia items thanks to Orville Mulligan, sports writer.
And there it is.
Wow, Orville, that's really the bee's knees.
Isn't it just? A poster-sized replica of the actual 1909 World Series program cover.
I can see that. But where did you get it? And where'd you get it framed?
I ordered it from the Row 1 website, where over 6,000 items of sports memorabilia from the 1880s to the 1990s are available for reproduction, in multiple sizes and in several different materials, with over a dozen styles of frame to choose from for prints like this.
Well, I'm sure Mr. Delft would love to put up more of these in the office. But I'm equally as sure they're beyond this newspaper's budget.
Not at all, my dear Marla. See for yourself. Go to sportshistorynetwork.com/row1.
sportshistorynetwork.com/row1. Oh my, these are good prices. Oh, and look at this stuff. Oklahoma-Nebraska football, college basketball art, Michael Jordan items.
And so
retro
it was that
sports
Marla Delft
advertisement
discovered the
placards.
splendiferous magic of Row 1 sports memorabilia, arts, and prints. You can too by visiting sportshistorynetwork.com/row1. That's ROW1 today for access to the full Row 1 catalog of gallery prints and gifts like t-shirts, long-sleeve shirts, telephone cases, coffee mugs, blankets, pillows, towels, and even shower curtains. Act today for 15% discount off all prints with coupon code SHN15 and 20% off all other items with coupon code SHN20 at checkout. And keep your dial locked to the Sports History Network for the exciting chronicles of the 1920 sports world in Orville Mulligan, sports writer. Coming soon.